What is going on, guys? It is me, I'm back again. And if there is one video that you need to watch right now as a beginner trader, it's this one. So if you've seen my other videos, you've seen my story videos, you've seen my how to make 10K in a month as a beginner trader videos, if you've seen any of that, I need you to forget all those, well, not forget them, but disregard those for right now and focus in on this video, because I'm going to teach you the first step of becoming profitable, and that is, of course, to pass your eval. Now, you guys may notice I'm in the same location as last video, and you're like, oh, Riley, are you going broke? You have one location, you can't move through new locations? Okay, fine. Want me to move to a different location? Watch this. Boom, switched it up on you. The entire video will be recorded from this spot right now. Boom. In front of the blank wall and in front of no buildings, okay? So, new spot, locked it in. Let me get the lighting all good. Perfect, okay? So, this is going to be a breakdown, step by step, on how you should pass, maybe not even your first eval, but any eval as a beginner trader, and also what you should do as you become a profitable trader and how you should go about passing eval phases, okay? Now, for this video, it's going to be the same as every other video that I've done so far. I'm going to be doing no cuts, no edits, no music, no putting anything on the screen. It's literally just going to be me talking. If I mess up, I mess up. You guys can make fun of me as much as you want. That's it. That's it. So, raw video, and yeah, this is going to be step by step on how to pass an eval. Now, if you guys have not seen the other videos on what you should do to get max allocation and get your first 10K month on prop firms, go and check that one out first, because that video shows you the exact prop firm accounts that I think are the best to do this on. So I'm going to be using my funded futures as an example for this video specifically, and then it really applies for all accounts anyway, because you're going to be using 50K accounts on all the prop firms that I'm choosing from. So it doesn't really matter, but go watch that eval video so that you can see exactly which account types that I recommend you guys use with to get max allocation and to pass your first eval, which accounts to use as an eval to pass. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first account that I think you should get is going to be a My Funded Futures starter account, okay? Now on that account, it's a $3,000 profit target with a $2,000 max loss limit, or a $2,500 actually max loss limit, and a $1,200 daily loss limit, okay? So what that means is you can be stopped from trading for the trading day if you lose $1,200 in either a single trade or in a single day. Yeah, and so they'll stop you from trading. The full loss limit is $2,500, so technically it would take you 3 full days to blow the account, but in reality it's 2 days to blow the account if you lost $1,200 and then you lost $1,200 again. Okay, and not just, you don't have to lose $1,200, you can lose less than that, but the way that we're going to be doing it, it's going to be a little bit different, okay? So a lot of people have different perspectives on evals and how you should trade them, and at what stages do you start to risk more on an eval, all this kind of stuff. For me, there is no point, especially as a profitable trader, and just in general you shouldn't be doing it, but as a profitable trader, you should not be spending time on an eval phase. You should take as little of an amount of time on an eval phase, okay? And the reason for that is because, let's say I take 10 trades to pass my eval, or let's say even 5 trades to pass my eval. 5 trades to pass my eval, that's 5 good setups that it takes for me to, get to that $3,000 profit target, okay? And then on the 6th trade, I take a loss. Now I'm on my first loss on a funded account, right? Or even the 7th trade or 8th trade, whatever it is. I'm taking those losses on a funded account versus taking them on an eval, right? And not everybody has the money to blow on like buying evals and resetting them and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is you should be risking heavier on evals than on your actual account, because in reality, evals don't really matter. They don't matter. Anyone who's in here who hasn't passed their first eval or is struggling to pass an eval or all that kind of stuff, the reason you're struggling is because you put so much mental focus on like the fact that you need to pass it and get to that next stage, and the funded account is like this big, huge thing that matters so much. Like, you need to get to the funded account. It's not that big of a deal, bro. It's genuinely not that big of a deal. Evals are not hard to pass. It's not, especially on a firm like My Funded Futures, where you could literally just pass it in one day. Like, it's so simple. Think about it like this. The way that I pass my Funded Futures evals is I will risk the max amount of contracts, right? So on that account, it's 3 minis. I'll risk the max amount of contracts. I will take a good 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio trade, or a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio trade, okay? So I'm risking $1,200, like I said, because the max loss limit is $1,200. I'm risking a 1 to 2.5, so if you do 1,200 times 2.5, I'm pretty sure that's 3K. Pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. Pretty sure it's 3K. I think it is. And yeah, it's so simple. A 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio is not a difficult trade, right? So let's say you have a 10-point stop loss. That means that you would need to have a 25-point take profit, I think. I didn't go to college, so maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm right. But yeah, you need to have a 25-point take profit, and that's just for that example, right? But on 3 minis, you can risk 1 to 2.5, okay, and you can take your profit. That's it. It's super simple. You know, you have your max loss limit of $1,200. You hit a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio trade, and then you could literally go from not being funded to being max allocated on like 3 different firms in 1 day. All you need to do is find accounts that are 1 day to pass, right? So like you could go to Tradeify. They have a 1 day to pass account. My Funded Futures, they have a 1 day to pass account. What's another one? Alpha Futures, they just came out with the 1 day to pass account, the zero accounts. It's easy. I could take all those firms, buy evals across all those firms, take one good 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio trade, and have max allocation on all those firms. That's how simple it is to go from having no funding to having max allocation on multiple firms and being able to print like 5-figure days. And obviously it's expensive to do that, right? So I'm not recommending you guys all do that, and I know it's not feasible for everybody right now, but you gotta stop putting so much mental focus on the eval part because it's really not that important, and it's super, super easy once you get past that mental block to start like passing evals like instantly, like super easily. Like I've seen people like taking weeks and like sometimes months to pass a single eval, and I'm like, come on, man. Like you really don't need to take that much time. At least blow the account. If you're gonna lose, like lose the account. You know what I mean? Like I think as a beginner trader, if you are at a point where you're on evals and you're taking 1 to 2 weeks to pass or not even 1 to 2, but like if you're taking multiple weeks, maybe anything more than 2 weeks to pass an eval, realistically, as a trader, you should probably stop focusing on buying evals. You should focus on fixing your model because you should not have to take 2 weeks to pass an eval. That's the reality. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, oh, it takes me a long, long time to pass evals, or like I've been on the same eval for however long, I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. It's either you're not risking enough to where your wins don't actually matter, right? Like you're risking micros on an eval, which is so dumb. And number 2 is like your model doesn't work as well as you may think it does, right? Because like even if you had a 55% win rate with like a 1 to 2 risk to reward, like you could pass your eval. You could. It's super simple. So if you're on an eval right now and you've been trading an eval for a long time, either start risking more or reassess your model, because the reality is you should not be on evals for this long. You should be on an eval for 1 to 2 weeks max. Max. And like when I pass my evals, I'll pass them in like 1 to 3 tries, right? So like in 1 to 3 days. Because obviously if I lose the trade, then the eval's messed up and I lose the account, whatever. But if I win the trade, then I pass the account and it's all good and I'm max allocated on the firm, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, guys, like, stop putting so much focus on evals. Like, genuinely, stop putting so much focus on it. That's the number 1 tip that I have for anyone who's trying to pass an eval right now. But let me get into like the more specifics of like the more specific part of like how I would actually risk to pass an eval for like someone who is a beginner, right? Someone who has a model that they know works and can trade. So I'm recommending to you that you should go for a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio with 1 contract, 1 mini, with a $500 risk, okay? That's it. That's what I want you to do for your evals, okay? Let's say that you're trying to pass a 3K profit target eval. That means you have to win 3 trades, either in a row, right? And if you take a loss, you lose the 500, whatever. Risk 1 mini with a $500 stop loss. Take 1 trade every single day. Don't take multiple trades, and you should be able to pass that account within 1 to 2 weeks. Genuinely. 1 mini, $500 risk, $1,000 reward if you hit the take profit, right? So let's say you win 3 trades in a row. Boom, you're past your account. Great job. You're done. Let's say you win 2 trades, then you lose the 3rd one. Now you're at $1,500. Now you just need to win 2 more trades. So like think about it like that. You need to have 3 winning trades to be able to carry you with that profit target to get over the edge, essentially. But let's say you have like a 60% win rate and you take 10 trades. You would lose $2,000 and you would make $6,000, which means that you would put yourself at $4,000 of profit over the profit target. You'd be perfectly fine. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would risk 1 mini, $500 stop loss, $1,000 take profit, 1 trade every single day. It would take 1 to 2 weeks max to pass an eval. And if you can't do that, this is my thing. If you cannot pass an eval within 1 to 2 weeks using that risk management plan, then you should not be trading evals. You are not in a position where your model works where you can be trading evals. You need to reassess, you need to go back to demo trading, go back to paper trading, and you need to make sure that you can get to a point where you can pass an eval without having that mental block, without thinking, oh, I can't pass an eval because of this. Like, one, you need to risk heavier, and two, you need to make sure your model actually works to pass an eval. Okay, so that's genuinely what I would do. And I know I waited till the end of the video to explain it. It's super, super simple. It is not difficult whatsoever to pass an eval. If you know that you have a model that works, that has at least a 60% win rate, which is not a very high win rate, you can pass evals like that. That wasn't a good snap. Let me get a good one. Like that. See, that was pretty good. It's super simple. It's really easy. You should be able to pass evals very, very, very quickly by just using that risk to reward system. 1 mini, $500 risk, $1,000 reward. Win like 4 to 5 trades if you have a couple losses, doesn't matter. And you should be good. You should be able to pass your accounts. You should be able to have max allocation on firms easily if you are doing that with that risk system. And then, once you become profitable, you can do what I do, which is I buy a bunch of accounts, I full port every single account on one setup with a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward, and I pass them. And if I don't pass them, then I just, well, sucks. I lost like whatever it is, whatever I spent on it. I think the other day it was like $600 on evals, and I took a losing trade. That sucked, but overall, it's perfectly fine, right? You know, you can do that and be, like I said at the beginning, you can go from having no funding to being max allocated on multiple firms, doing multiple 5-figure days. So, super simple. Hope this helped you guys. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. If you want to work with me one-on-one, do any sort of mentorship, anything like that, you can leave a comment below, or you can DM me on Instagram. I have all my links in the bio as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you soon for another raw video.